In 2020, overdose with a synthetic opioid, primarily fentanyl, became the leading cause of death in all Americans, ages 18 to 45. Motor vehicle accidents were the former leading cause for this age group. Motor vehicles are the leading cause of death for 18 to 45-year-olds. We need to change that. No, not like that. Used to work as a meteorologist. More people die from flooding each year than from every other natural disaster added together. A good portion, at least, are people who think their cars can make it through the water, when they obviously cannot. I will never forget working at a body shop at Carrollton Avenue and Canal Street in New Orleans in the 2010s. It was right before that street underpass said a highway, and when it rained heavily it would routinely flood to the tune of 10-12 feet of water. During a big rain, a co-worker and I noticed folks driving into the rising water, knew what was coming, and decided to back up a trailer into the street to block it. People started driving over the median, screaming "fuck youse," etc. at us as they careened into the ever-rising water. About 10 cars went in before folks decided it was a bad idea, if I remember correctly. We let those that went around the trailer find their own way to shore. The risk of a heart attack is about 20% greater on Mondays for adult men, and 15% greater for adult women. Realizes that they have to go to work again. Dies. WWII claimed the lives of 3% of the world's population in 1939. The Three Kingdoms War killed 20% and the Inlushan Rebellion might have killed 1/6 of all people on Earth. Ancient China was fucked. Dragonflies have a 95% hunt success rate, making them the most effective hunters in the world. It's because the dragonfly optic nerve connects directly to their wings, allowing incredibly fast reaction times, since the target finding isn't mediated by the nervous system. 20% of the mammal species on our planet are different types of bats. There's about 5,000 species of mammals, and about 1,000 of them are varieties of our little winged buddies. I thought there would be more types of mammals. The average age of retirement in the US is 62. 53% of retirements aren't voluntary. Happened to my dad. He is a finance whiz and had a decent chunk wrapped in his and my mum's retirement. One day he was laid off with little warning and he figured why the F*** would he look for a job when he was pushing 60. The average drunk driver drives under the influence more than 80 times before they get caught. LPT only drive drunk 79 times. Since the mid-1970s, the world's population has doubled. 7% of all humans that ever existed are alive today. Source https://www.prb.org/article/ how many people have ever lived on Earth/ National Geographic found in 2018 that only 9% of all plastic worldwide gets recycled. https://www.nationalgeographic.com/science/article/plastic produced recycling waste ocean trash debris environment. A study in the US by the Environmental Protection Agency found only 8.4% of US waste was recycled. https://www.livetions.com/how much plastic recycling.html. Biffa Waste Services Limited was caught sending over 1,000 tons of private home waste to India labeled as paper. https://www.gov.uk/government/news/Biffa caught exporting banned waste again, so you pay less per container. For profit. Basically, recycling is a depressing joke. Recycling is a way for big corporations to push the blame/responsibility onto the consumer. 34% of adults and 75% of children sleep with a stuffed animal or a blanket or other sentimental object as their comfort object. I don't care if this is false or not. It's not harmful misinformation, it's just plain cute. 1 in every 3rd adult I see statistically sleeps with a stuffed animal. Awesome. 18% of all boating accidents are caused by people trying to pee over the side. Good one. Peeing over the side probably correlates with drinking while boating. Prostate cancer affects 80% of 80-year-old men at some point in their lives. 80%. I have read somewhere that most men die with prostate cancer, not of prostate cancer. 48%. https://yowgov.co.uk/topics/articles/reports/07/20/half Britain's world won't go moon even if there's of British people wouldn't go to space, even if their safety was guaranteed, with the most popular reason being that they just simply didn't have any interest in going. Hey, with how much stuff I've learned about living in space, it sounds like a nightmare. Eating, drinking, digestion and going to the bathroom are all thrown off by a lack of gravity, along with brushing your teeth or clipping your nails. Working out is one of the most common activities in space, so you don't lose muscle mass from the lack of gravity. Even then, it's common to have a lot of aches and pains when returning to Earth, because you didn't really use your feet all that much or something. Not to mention space blindness. That one's a bit hyperbolic, but it is sort of a thing. I'll stay home, thanks. Take pictures for me. Sharks have existed for longer than the rings of Saturn. 450 million years versus around 100 million. Sharks also predate trees. Of the 30 fastest 100-meter sprint times, 21 were run by athletes who tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. The other 9 were Usain Bolt. I think he had twin boys last year, and named one of them Thunder. Imagine the pressure you must be facing as a kid like that, lol. A full 6% of Americans, https://relevantmagazine.com/current/buzzworthy/6% of Americans think they could beat a grizzly bear in hand-to-hand combat / reckon they could beat a grizzly bear in unarmed combat. Even more thought they could defeat a gorilla, an elephant, and a lion. An elephant, really? Let's see, says here it's 13,000 pounds and 10 feet tall. That is pretty big. But then I did just get my purple belt in Goju Ryu Karate. Close one, but I'm gonna have to give the edge to me in this matchup. Wayne Gretzky and his brother hold the record for most points by a brother pair in NHL history. His brother has 4 points. Gretzky also holds the record for fastest to 1,000 points. Who's in second? Wayne Gretzky again on his second 1,000 points. The human eye blinks about 4.2 million times a year on average. This made me manually blink. A wild boar can ejaculate up to half a liter of semen on one go. This was a did you know quote from our school's biology books in the 90s. Boar cack hit different. That 49.6% of Pakistanis marry a first cousin and 8.3% marry a second cousin. In rural areas of Pakistan up to 80% of people marry a cousin. In Britain, Pakistanis make up 2% of the population, but account for 30% of children with genetic diseases. That's because on average 55% of them, but up to 70% in some areas, practice first cousin marriage. 2%, 20%. Motorcycles are 2% of all vehicles USA. Motorcycles account for 20% of all road fatalities. I don't ride anymore. In the same vein, less than 10% of Americans do not wear seatbelts and account for 51% of car-related fatalities. 86% of British citizens reside within 8 miles of their birthplace. Cheddar Man, discovered in a cave in Cheddar, was the ancestor of a schoolteacher in Cheddar, who lived a mile from the cave. 9,000 years later, he said, everyone has ancestors 9,000 years ago. I just happen to know where mine lived. After oil, the world's second most traded commodity is coffee. Both critical to everyday life, so not surprising. Because planes were being produced at such an unbelievable rate, Britain possessed more planes at the end of the Battle of Britain than at the beginning. I'm likewise always stunned by the scope of American naval production during the war. On the day Pearl Harbor got attacked, there were 8 carriers in the Pacific Fleet. By May 1945 there were 99. 1% of European population suffer from schizophrenia. And about 30% of people with schizophrenia are treatment resistant, meaning they don't react to 2 or more medications typically prescribed. The current only effective treatment for treatment-resistant schizophrenia is clozapine, which only has at best a 60% success rate within the first year. Also, high-potency marijuana increases the risk of developing schizophrenia by a factor of 5, which is also quite interesting.